It's good to see you. That's how we should do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thierry Nunguwenimana.
Thank you.
Holy crap, man. I'm happy to have you. I watched some of your stuff. This is the Real Opinion Podcast, by the way. Welcome, everybody. My name is Gustavo. This is Thierry. And I was just saying that, like, I watched some of your podcasts. The one you were having, well, I mean, you had the one episode on YouTube. And then you also had some videos on your Instagram that you're posting now.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess one of the questions that came to my mind especially was, who is Thierry? And what's your mission for the world? And am I saying the first name right? Thierry, right?
Yes.
Thierry.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Amazing.
Mission for the world is, it's a big question. The way I'm breaking it down is more so like what I find, like what is my legacy and what is my contribution to society. And I find that I align more people say that light worker, and light worker meaning basically someone who has had the opportunity to be enlightened with being woke and knowing that we're all interconnected, and having that responsibility comes with the awareness, knowing now you moving forward, you have to represent your most authentic self in every room you're in, so then that you can align yourself with your soul. Because a lot of us, we find that we put on jobs and jackets and all this, but underneath it all,
right,
at our soul, and we feel we connect, and which is why when we're in relationships or when we're in friend groups, we crave that intimate the most, because that's what brings us. So I'm trying to bring that to everywhere I go, and I'm not looking so much for the external world, but I'm being my authentic self and hoping that light also awakens the soul within you to recognize you're more than who people deem you to be.
That's amazing, man. I was definitely really inspired because, like, especially with the way you speak, you definitely seem like somebody who has reflected a lot and has dove deep into, first of all, what life is about, and then on top of that, what's your role in it. And then it's like, it's a very beautiful process how the light just shines through all of it, and it all just correlates with each other.
Yeah.
You know, and it's amazing, isn't it? It's like, yeah, man, I was really inspired. That's why I really I was excited that you actually messaged, because I was like, oh, like, hell yeah. I had already seen some of the stuff you posted, and I was like, yeah, let's do it, man, you know? So I guess it leads me to, like, my next question is, like, what is your earliest memory in terms of you tapping into that mindset? Like, what was the... You know, because you know what? Like, I'm gonna start with this one actually. It was like at the last one in my list. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah.
But like, so what was the transition like between going to like from like partying and stuff like that, from all these parties, to, and if you still do, then let me know where your balance is, right? But what was your transition from like the parties to peace? And that's why I word that very carefully, right?
Yeah. No, I loved how you.
I want to see where you go with that.
So, my relationship with the partying scene and that transition to peace, I find, is also within literally why we went with a lucid society and what a lucid society means. So it fits in, it correlates so much with it. And basically, at the time I was partying and I was freshly out of like college, I was just like any other curious individual that had just kind of been single. I had gotten out of a toxic relationship, and I was finally at a point in my life where I'm like, I can enjoy this part of it and feel good about doing it as well. And when I partied, I quickly went and I realized how can I profit and how can I make sure I'm not just coming here to be a consumer of this environment, but also benefit from it. So I started promoting, and I did.
Oh, so you were promoting too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
Let's get it.
I did promoting, and I was promoting.
That's definitely how we met.
Saluna. I did.
Oh, okay. I was Saluna too. Yeah.
Bell.
That's definitely where we met. What? I was in the Bell, bro. What the hell? Yeah. That's definitely where we met for sure. Yeah. Between everything we talked about, for sure. Okay. Lit.
And when when I was promoting, I really, like, I'm a people's person, as I said, and I connect with people. So despite where I was, and even though people can take that the club isn't the most high vibrational of places to be, but at that time, that's where my soul was needed. That's where I was and where I was connecting, because I started to network with individuals, and I built such an authentic relationship, being the authentic version of myself that I'm trying to present to the world, that when after the 2 summers, I stepped back from promoting, but I remained close with these people in this nightlife. And what it generated was, it gave me access on days where I had parties or birthdays, friends that needed to come out. Now, because the labors of my fruits of just connecting and networking, I was able to have access to these places without spending money. So therefore, my energy that was put in was being rewarded back to me. And that was the full circle moment. And
I feel that. I feel that hard. You know what I mean? For sure, man. It's like, if I'm going to be here, I mean, you know, may as well really get the most out of it, for sure.
Yeah, so that
between everything you said, of course.
Exactly. And I might not have been aware of it at that time, and I might have just been in that scene.
But your subconscious knew.
Yeah, the subconscious knew, and looking back at it now and seeing how everything worked out, it allowed it. And even a lucid society, our main purpose is to literally explore the multi-dimensional being of the human experience of all of us. And I find that it's like yin and yang, is you can only describe someone and relate to someone of what they're going through that is classified as darkness, or what they deem is not worth celebrating, when you also have that first person experience of your own wrongs and your own doing and things of that saying, you know? I have a better sense of telling someone who is trying to become a promoter, who's trying to, or who's maybe is stagnant in that nightlife and is maybe losing a bit themselves. I can connect to them in ways that I wouldn't have been able to had I not actually experienced that, you know?
Absolutely, bro. I understand you so much, because I think that was actually one of the only things that I would tell myself, especially to justify how long I did it for. I mean, for me, you know, I kind of just lasted at like about a year before the pandemic hit. So it didn't go for long. 2019 was the main year. But I definitely see what you're saying, because it allowed you to kind of tap into a darkness that was going to come eventually in one way or another, because life gets you there, especially as a man at first. Like when you go through all these like pieces of your journey, like something is going to trigger that, right? So it was definitely a good exposure to kind of not get out of the way, but it was on a very educational, slow route, one by one, kind of day by day basis, where you started realizing, oh, this is how the world works.
Exactly.
There's like a lot of epiphanies and like a lot of like, oh, I thought that wasn't real, but I guess it is, you know?
Exactly. And a lot
now I've seen it with my own eyes, you know?
The perspective has changed.
Bro, and it's crazy. Like, once you leave that industry, you can never see the world the same way. No. It's crazy. So tell me something about that. Like, how do you feel now? Because now you seem very like, you know, when you think of a promoter, you think someone high energy, always on the go. Like, you know, they're making calls, texting like an agent, like a sports agent, you know? So, but you seem like a very calm and composed guy. Was it always like this? Or did this kind of come like throughout the time that you kind of slowly got out of the industry? Because, you know, with loud music and stuff, it changes the way you are as a person as well, to some extent. I believe in that, the whole frequency idea, right? And also the people around that you're surrounding, because you're not always in the best surrounding. Like whether you want to or not, especially as a promoter, you're kind of thrown into situations where you don't necessarily want to be in, but then it just happens, and then you're like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, let me just go.
Exactly, no.
Yeah, so anyway, how do you feel about that?
I find that, like, despite, even though, like, promoting is a nightlife and you're working, you get home around, like, 3 in the morning and you sleep throughout the day and stuff.
It's crazy.
I made it part of my mission to also make time to connect with myself during the time I was off, or during the mornings or the afternoons prior to going in. And one thing I've always been keen on is I've been always self-aware of how I always do a check-in with myself.
Right.
And connecting with myself and just kind of treating my body as the most important thing in order to operate in all these environments. I needed to make sure I was, as a personal brand, I was presenting myself in the most authentic, but also raw and enough to people connect. I'm not trying to take anything from you, but rather this is an exchange of energy. Like, you know, me being here, coming here on time, showing up below it. It's an exemplary of how I want you to see this version of me, you know, that I'm valuing the time you're taking out the day to do this. So, you know.
Absolutely, man. No, absolutely. And I see, I'll apologize on camera. I was a little messy today. You know, it's not the example I like to give, you know, but I apologize for that.
No.
I love it. You actually, you showed up 10 minutes early, which is perfect. I was just getting out of the shower, but, you know, my first thought is, why would I shower, like, so late? I should have showered way earlier, you know? Just I had to clean up the place a bit, you know, there's so much stuff going on, but no excuse. But that's awesome, bro. No, and you definitely exemplified that already. I can already tell your energy is so straightforward. You know, you're not afraid to just be who you are straight up. And the energy is nice, especially coming up the elevator.
Yeah.
The dog is all over you, man. Listen, pets know, man. Pets know. It's very true, man. Very true. So I just want to read this part here because I want to make sure I get the quote properly. But I was watching one of your episodes, the episode that you guys have in on Illicit Society YouTube.
Yeah.
Yes, which was amazing, by the way. I love the conversation you guys had. It was amazing. And you said something about we don't currently have a community that can reciprocate the love we have versus the conversations we have. Give or take, that are much too intimate to the body, that it often leaves us rather overwhelmed, but it's so beautiful. So can you elaborate on this?
Of
and
course,
like,
yeah.
you know, if you can, give me like an idea of where your head was at in those moments. Like, had something in your life, like what comes to mind when you're talking about these things?
So,
you know?
So going back at that episode and that time, it was about it was Soul to Soul. That was the series, and the series was on love.
Yes.
And how people have been so conditioned to thinking love is one way.
It's a romantic thing.
And it's how it's a romantic thing.
But it's a concept.
Right?
Yes.
And like every concept,
I just want to make sure I learned, you know, because I actually paid attention. I was like, yo, these guys know what they're talking about. It's good, man. It's good.
Yeah. And I needed people to truly understand that with being intentional, I was referring to this quote. I was referring to my best friend Almira, who's also
that's the girl that was in the video with you.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. And she's also the founder of Elucid.
Okay.
And she has and she brought me on as the first individual to actually connect, because she felt there wasn't any buddy more fitting in that role than me to have her on her side, and I was very appreciative of that. And I was going back on that, saying that the love her and I share is a love that has come through many sacrifices of, especially as a male, it came through a lot of sacrifices, me saying that I need to see women in a light where it's aligned with my body as equals, you know, not just as how society has deemed us to be, just romantic, or just like even when you're friends, there's a motive behind the friendship that you are holding on to these feelings.
Right.
We needed to
the whole Valentine's Day fiasco.
Exactly. We needed to express, and once we understood, based off of the level we had for each other, it's like soul to soul, we understood the importance of our relationship, and that's the love that I was saying Toronto does not have that community for, and which is the reason why Lucid Society exists in that setting, because our mission in that set is to have these relationships for everybody, because everybody deserves to have relationships that can be platonic with the opposite sex, but still be as meaningful, if not more meaningful, than any other. You know, so it comes back to all that, like
it's a soul to soul thing.
Soul to soul.
Yeah.
And that's where I was going with that quote, is saying that
it's so overwhelming.
It's so overwhelming to the body sometimes that we often are complicated by overthinking that it needs to be romantic, because it's like we've not felt this way for anybody prior to this, but you can have these feelings and still not demand romantic desires. The desire is just to be seen and to be felt and to be heard within that interaction you have with that person.
Absolutely, man. Wow. Okay. Yeah, because it definitely caught me. I was listening and I remember I was like, I think I was just like, you know, I was just fiddling with something in my hands. And then you said that and I was like, oh my God, that's so true. Because, you know, obviously, and I try to think about other big cities in the world, like New York, you know, London, like all the main ones around the world. And I wonder if it's the same idea, and I'm sure it would be similar, where there's just too much noise and we never have chances to even have these conversations. And if they do, people just kind of, and I love that's why you guys are now, I'm sure, posting online, because we're in a digital world where a lot of people don't get to do this offline, especially, you know, and that's definitely one of the reasons I decided to do this podcast, is because like there's so many things happening, very crucial things happening around the world right now. And like, I don't know, a lot of people just seem to be taking the hidden route and not like the conversation that needs to come around it. And love is the core of it all. to understand that like the only way we make it out of the current situation in terms of if you look at specifically different factors that are affecting the world right now for different matters is through the concept of love, because like there's no way out after that. But so I wanted to ask you, you know, my podcast, it talks about embracing stoicism. Are you familiar with the word?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. I wouldn't be surprised, man. It's a hard word. A lot of people are actually, even I had to Google that at first because I was like, I heard it in a different podcast and I was like, I like this word. I definitely understand somewhat, but let me Google it. And it was like the display of, the endurance of pain and suffering without the display of like emotional
complaints and
stuff.
To go through hardship in that sense.
It's crazy. Like to think of stoicism, like it's obviously I did the research and it goes back to Stoic days, Greek mythology, but not Greek mythology, but what does that word mean to you? And like what's a moment that you feel you've represented that to the fullest extent where you've just had to suck up and obviously share as much as you wish. But like that's what the real opinion is about, you know. I want people to kind of feel the real vulnerability of like what are those moments that have kind of put you in that position and have kind of just like you've had to represent stoicism.
So I find that many times the universe has confronted me with just guidance, and I think that's how it is. I find like I'm a light being, but I'm only being guided through the channel of God, through the channel of higher being, you know what I mean? I don't find I'm operating on a lot of things that are serving the flesh. But prior to that, I had such a dark path right after the relationship where I gave myself to people and women in these relationships that I was in that wasn't fulfilling, and I just had these meaningless relationships that were that were draining me of my life force, and it was leaving me empty. And a lot of my I had one of my friends, Leslie, she confronted me and said that you are too self-aware to be indulging in things that are not, you know, not adding,
this
not,
is getting hard.
And I had to sit with that because
I
was always the person she'd come to for advice, and that
so she turned it around.
And I was like,
so you knew it was serious.
Oh my goodness, I have, because prior to just her, I had very little platonic relationships with women. It was just my relationship with women were purely for sexual.
That's what Toronto Nightlife will do, bro.
And
Absolutely.
and especially when I was in the gym, I felt like the ego. I had not had the ego death, so I was very much in a prideful state, saying I deserve this and I can do this simply because I am. And that's when I had to really, again, be intentional and sit with myself and be like, moving forward, I will be only intentional with women, and I will take a time. I took literally 11 months of just pure celibacy. I did nothing. I saw no one, and all I allowed myself to do was connect to energies that were aligned with the higher frequency that I was also trying to vibrate on. And when I went through that transition, it changed everything. Till this day, nothing of this, like the reason why I can be composed and at peace is because I truly am not seeking anything from this external world that is not already for me. You know, I don't need to deceive individuals to perceiving me one way. They just perceive me, you know what I mean?
They're going to choose in the end.
Exactly. So I just have to remain this version of myself and know that, and I sleep well at night knowing that.
Oof. This is crazy, man. Wow, this is, I could not understand more. So you mentioned something so crucial, I think, is that you were intentional. You know, walk me through one of your days. Like, what was your average day during that 11-month period that you were intentional? Like, what were you doing intentionally from the moment you woke up to as much as you want to share, of course, again.
So a day-to-day would simply be getting up, giving gratitude. And my friend had also...
Like, you'd say this out loud.
Absolutely.
In the mirror or something.
My friend at that time, Elmira, who's now obviously my business partner as well, she gave me a journal. And she said the intention said, as long as you remain on this intentional path, write down your day-to-day, give gratitude and peace to that self, so then you can approach the world without having like the noises of it. You're approaching it through your most authentic version. And I would write down and I would be like, today I spoke to so-and-so, and it would be more genuine. It would be so, I start to see literally women note just as my equals. I did not, that over sexualization stopped literally in the second month of my celibacy. I literally began to see so clearly that I was seeing the person for what they were and any of their suffering that they were trying to be vulnerable with me, and I wasn't transferring so much. And energy, people may lie, energy does not. And that's one thing that my day-to-day helped me see. Till this day, I'm so like I walk into rooms and I know what your energy is welcoming and what is not. And I simply, you know, observe. You become much more of an observer of the world, and you don't really indulge as much. You observe and you see what is fitting and you act accordingly to that. It's a beautiful gift.
Facts. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. So be honest with me. What was my energy like today?
Oh no, your energy is good. But even when you posted that, I simply I sent it to Almira, the business partner in our group, and I was like, wow, look at this opportunity that the universe, because everything I'm connecting to isn't connecting to people for who I think they are, but I'm like, yo, the universe is aligning something that is already within my path. Giving myself a platform to also represent a lucid and connect with other people, that is literally life mission here. So I was so appreciative, and I knew coming here that the universe could not deceive that energy of coming here. So I already had that. There was a preset of knowing that this is intentional and this is good, and now the universe is giving me that back through this.
Whoa, that's crazy, bro. I appreciate that. For real. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah, because, you know, I can't lie to you, like my whole life, especially during the years right before like promoting, I was very self-conscious about that, man. You know, I'm always very mindful of the energy that I carry into a room. However, has it escaped me, of course, and there are times that I'm not aware, and then I'd find out later on my energy wasn't what people around me at the time, whatever, right? We all had those moments. But especially now, just because we're talking on the topic, I genuinely wanted to know, like, you know, because, again, you never know. Sometimes people give a certain impression, but again, like you say, right, like they're kind of wearing a mask, and some people get good at it, man. They get really good at it, and it's, but like you said, right, it's like when you kind of start really getting into your own self and you start seeing that light from other people, you get better at reading it and like kind of seeing through the mask. But again, a lot of people specifically on the opposite end of the frequency that practice towards becoming good at deceiving and good at doing those things. So it's just crazy how, especially working in that industry, you kind of see both of those sides. I'm sure you had a couple encounters. Yeah. That's crazy, bro. We got to have another episode just on Nightlife. Of course. Because I want to hear some stories, bro. Yeah, of course. How long did you do it for?
I did it for 2 summers.
2 summers. Like,
I started
2018 or something? Or what?
No, just literally like 2 summers ago.
Oh, 2 summers ago.
I did the summer before that. Yeah. But that one was more so like I was just starting out. I wasn't really, but then the second I was more on contract, and I was actually like more like known. I had more like
okay. Hope.
Yeah. The first one was more so me just convincing me like, yo, T, you're good with people. You're so, you know, this and this. You're kind in this way and that, and you'd be great. And honestly, and you know where this came from, this promoting thing? Yeah. It came from me being intentional with the women that were coming out to support me at the nightclub. Me having platonic relationships, again, the labor helps, of my fruit comes back full circle.
Yeah, man. And you know, let's be real, women, you know, you kind of like it when the man make you chase a little bit. Gets the roles flipped a little bit, you know. I know it is, bro. I know it is. Like, ever, just out of curiosity, do you ever, like, drink or smoke anything?
Yeah, honestly, I've been trying to get better at with me, it was just weed. Yeah. And weed, like, in terms of
especially, I'm assuming during those 11 months that you were on your own.
Exactly. Same. You know, I find up to myself, I'm like, okay, everybody has a vibe. Yeah. You know, we all have it. Me,
absolutely, bro.
Was weed. I would just smoke a little bit. Yeah. Put on my high vibrational tunes and just be out in the sun and just soak. And just be there and be present. And facts. You know, but I try now to have more of a balance, because as long as, you know, I don't want to become dependent on anything. Yeah. But that's why sometimes I've taken out of my power saying I can't smoke on my ones as much. I want to be more, if it's in a group setting and we're out, yes. But I definitely lowered it down, because doing those 11 months, it was just me, shrooms, myself. Because I had to really throw out and grow out of that old version of me. And I'm like, I can't be tempted in these ways. I have to stay strong. And that's, you know, comes with it.
That's crazy, man. I can't lie. That's where I'm at right now. I'm a weed smoker as well. Like I used to, for me, if I drink alcohol, you know, like I love my like spiced rum and coke or something like that. You know, something smooth. At the club, it was vodka cranberries.
You know,
they're nice and sweet, and you know, a lot of guys would judge me, and I'm like, what do you mean, bro? It's nice.
I love especially on vacation. I love bottomless mimosas. Having you go. That's what I'm saying. Women in my life put me on bottomless mimosas.
Bro, girls know, man. Girls know.
And I can't go like.
Yeah, facts.
Trust me.
I'm telling you, man. So, but nah, man, it's true. Especially when I found weed right when the pandemic hit. Like, well, it kind of found me. My ex at the time was already a smoker.
Yeah.
And then my close friends became a smoker with me. Like, we all just did. Like, we were just like, our way to bond was just like sitting in the car and just smoking up, right? Like, that was the thing. During the pandemic, like the first lockdown. Yeah. Okay, bro, that's crazy, bro.
Trust me.
Our stories are so similar, you have no idea, because you're the one that's telling me a lot of shit, and I'm just like, holy shit. Because, like, especially from the promoter standpoint with the women, like, because, like, anyway, bro, we're definitely going to have another episode, because we don't have enough time, but it's all good. That's crazy, man. And, sorry, I just want to open this, because I had something I wanted to read there. Yeah, but I was saying that I'm at the same place, man. Like, I'm trying to slowly now cut the weed. Like, I smoke, right now I'm at like once a day.
Yeah.
But I'll smoke a 0.3 grams.
When you're not
like
smoking
nothing much.
The brain fog that goes, like I'll go weeks without smoking just because I need that clarity.
Yes, the clarity is so crucial. You know? Absolutely, man.
And especially now that we're in these platforms where we need to be sharp. Absolutely. I want to, it comes back to me trying to be my best version so I can also present that to you as well. So
Are you still smoking nowadays?
Yes, but like I'm like for today, like let's say it's been like a week since last.
Oh, okay.
Like since I last did.
Yeah.
But like tonight,
bro, that's what I'm working towards right now, man. Because now you enjoy it more, no?
Exactly.
Sorry.
No.
Okay.
Sorry,
yeah.
I enjoy
it so much more. Yeah.
But tonight I'm going to see my friend at a comedy show. She might probably have a joint after. I can indulge in that because I've done the work.
Are you looking forward to it? You're looking forward to it.
You know what I
mean? Man's like, it's that day of the week. Let's get it. No, but bro, I'm trying to get to that exactly, bro. Because like I know right now, like I said, I'm like once a day, give or take. You know, I'll smoke something easy, a small little thing. You know, just to kind of because even when I'm off the weed, like later in the day, hours later, when it's kind of fading away, that chillness that it leaves you at, you know, I also just enjoy that so much. And it's also like the way that you think. The way that obviously like weed makes you think, but you know, again, it's cool, it's sick, no, it's good for you that like, and obviously I'm sure that came with just like the more clarity you found within yourself with the things that the answers you were looking for in a sense, the more that the weed kind of slowly went away, because it just substituted, right? It just kind of allows you to justify procrastination in a sense.
Exactly.
That's all pretty much what weed does. In the negative side, there's obviously a lot of positives as well, but you can overconsume it for sure. It's crazy, man. So what would you say like right now is something that you're struggling with? Like what's your battle right now? You know, like what about life?
About life?
Yeah, because obviously I know we're talking about love and that correlates to everything, so feel free to incorporate that.
Yeah.
But like what's something specifically right now that like something just about whether it's about business, about finance, about like politics, you know, we're in a very political state right now.
Yeah.
Right now, like in terms of even our age group, you know, we're the age group that's kind of gotta start picking it up a little bit. We gotta start paying attention, you know. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 28.
Oh, 28? I'm 27. Okay. I'm about to turn 28 actually like next week.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, man, 96.
Oh yeah, same here.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's crazy, but when's your birthday?
August.
Oh, so just passed?
Yeah, I just passed, yeah.
Bro, that's crazy. What the hell?
Yeah.
Say less. Okay. That's awesome, bro. But yeah, man, so so between all those things, like what's something like what comes to mind when I ask that question? Like what are you struggling with in terms of life right now?
I think
to understand.
Yeah. I think what I'm struggling to understand right now is where I lie in receiving romantic love and because I think one thing I will be honest with is because I've been on that path where I was being so intentional with the women in my life, I've just become so accustomed to having like such a platonic role in a lot of the relationships I have with women that I find is this what I'm truly aligning myself with, or is there a part of me that is not ready or isn't allowing themselves to be loved and be approached? Because I find myself like I don't talk to, like, I'm being honest, I don't talk to any girls right now. And I mean, like, I don't even entertain, like, yeah, some will reply to my stories and it'll be like that. You know what I mean?
I love you prefer, bro. I don't know about you.
Like, yeah, I'm very, like, I'm so, like, you know, and I think I need to also allow myself to also indulge in these things, because it's also, as we're being multi-dimensional beings, it's part of our nature to also want love in that romantic setting. But I'm just saying, I've been so distant from it because I've been receiving I feel I'm always my cup's always full with the women I have in my life because of how much they mean to me, how much they reassure me in these things. And I find the reassurance and energy leaves me not, because a lot of men, I'm gonna be honest, they don't actually get to have this many women around them in their life that are all good and healthy relationships. We don't, but because I've been in this role, I think I need to do a better job at also distinguishing, being like, you know what? Yes, I could be. Yes, I could just be friends with her. But why? Let me not just close myself to what could be and potentially be romantic and be also good for me. So I think that's what I'm struggling with right now. And do I date again? Do I just remain single? Because I'm so, again, purposeful, and I'm trying to be intentional that I take it to the lengths that, you know, is very much like, whoa, like, damn, I'm strict on myself. I'm strict on myself more than anything. So I think that's one thing I'm struggling with, trying to date versus remaining intentional and just being the light I am, and also just allowing people to exist in that sense. Because I'm not lying, I haven't pursued in a long time.
How long has it been? I was going to say.
I haven't, literally, it's been, I say about the last 3 years. I have not pursued.
Really,
Yeah, I have not pursued any woman where I'm like, there's a talking stage, we're communicating in that sense.
But is it because you haven't really tried?
I haven't.
And I know, like, I'm saying, like, you don't even, like, you're not even going in the right environments where you could even meet a girl.
Yeah, I feel like, and I feel like I talk to a lot of the environments now, because Toronto is such a small place, a lot of the environments I'm in, I'm always, women that I go and know, I always have such a love and platonic relationship with them that they communicate that relationship that I have with them to their friends. And if they're lacking in that area where they're like, wow, I've never actually had a male figure as just a platonic friend, that's the roles I find I play in these roles. And I'm okay with it, but I think the desire needs to return where I'm also like, you know what? Let me pursue you.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Have you, sorry, it's a bit of a forward question, but like, have you thought about it, if there's some sort of trauma attached to that? I think maybe something to do, you know, I don't know, with parents, or maybe sibling or something, if you have. I don't know, right? Everybody's story is so different. And again, share as much as you will, but this is just the way I like to talk about these things, man. It's so fascinating, right? Because this is how we can all relate when you talk about the real shit. Do you feel like there's something there in that sense? Or maybe, like you said, how many romantic relationships were you?
I've only been in one relationship. And it was ended in 2019, started in 2017, 18, like summer of that. Okay, it was for 2 years. 2 years. Yeah.
But enough to know.
I lived with the individual. The pain of that is definitely, it was definitely a little scarring.
Right.
But it's been so many years that I can't blame that. I can't have that as an outlet and reach out to and be like, oh, she's hurt me. No, it's a lot of accountability and saying,
and a lot of lessons.
I've healed,
right,
and I just need to be. And I think that my friends tell me I'm too comfortable in life, where I have so many, again, a lot of women, and people know this. If you follow me, if you're around me, I'm always around
ladies,
women.
Man, I get it.
I'm always, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be honest. So being part of that,
how it is, bro.
Being part of that, being part of that is just acknowledging that I'm like, I never wake up and I'm like, man, like, because I think men, we crave women attention, their time,
even just the energy,
even their energy.
But, absolutely, bro. I get it.
And I think that's what I receive. I receive so much energy from women, and it's always positive and reassuring. That when I think of like, oh, let me date and take this route, I'm just like,
no, I actually care about them too much.
That's what
because if you make it romantic now, then it's a higher chance it actually might fail.
And I think that's
sense.
Again, goes back to the fear. Do I date again?
Right. Which is, no, man, and thank you for being open about it, right? Because, again, like, this is the whole point of the podcast, like, for people out there who kind of are struggling with the same idea. And I can personally tell you, I know people who are in the same boat as you right now. And especially now, it's funny actually, I've been doing a lot of research on like where the world is right now. And a lot of men are feeling the same way, bro. A lot of men. You know, for me, fortunately, right now, my girlfriend Patricia, which you know, by the way.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, soccer.
Yeah. Okay.
East York, yeah.
When she found out you were coming, she was like, oh, what? And like, she had to go work today. So she missed you, bro. She would have, because we live together here, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. But yeah, bro, it's like, I think a lot of men are in the same place. I've spoken to a lot of other guys, you know, just hearing from podcasts, stuff like that. But it's, I guess that's the thing that kind of makes it a bit hard to navigate. It's like, I don't know about you, but I'm definitely the place right now where there's so much responsibility, you know, in terms of, you know, for me personally, you know, I have a mom, like, you know, she's going through some stuff. I have 2 sisters. So right now, in terms of male figure, I'm the only male figure in my family, you know. My dad's not around. So, and then I'll have Patricia. So it's like more women in my life, but it's like a whole, like, it's from a different standpoint, of course, but it's the same feeling of like, you have people that kind of depend on you. Yeah. And it's a beautiful thing, right? Because at the end of the day, I think especially a lot of women struggle to find men who can only be friends. Yeah. Right? That's definitely a thing. I know you said that earlier, and that's super facts for sure. And so it kind of puts you in a spot, though, with all these responsibilities and that sense of care to want to take things seriously and, like, really take a step forward. And that's why, for me, my biggest battle has been, like, with the weed, bro. Like, you know, I went through the same thing where I went, like, maybe 7 or 8 months where it was just me. I was, like, barely in touch with anybody out in the world. I was just, like, reading the Bible, like, here and there, smoking weed every day, just trying to, like, talking to myself. I have a shitload of voice memos. I journaled a lot, man. Journaling is so crucial. Exactly. Anybody out there, if you're struggling with anything at all, just start writing. I promise you, it doesn't make sense, but it will make sense eventually. Yes? Yes. Trust me, man. 100%. I definitely started doing that, but, you know, eventually life caught up to me. I was like, okay, I can't just sit around all day. I gotta get going, you know? So that's kind of what happened with me. But yeah, weed has been my struggle there. And so now, on the contrary, what's something that you're kind of like, I know this is for certain, at least for me, or at least, like, you feel this way now? What's something that you're like, I know this is certainly part of life, and nobody could prove me otherwise, unless somebody can prove me eventually, right? Because, you know, life goes on. Yeah. You'll never know how you feel when you're 40, is what I'm saying, right? But you're so certain of it, but how did you used to feel about that thing before you became certain of it? Does that make sense?
Yes. Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just use the example with... I never thought I could just be friends with women.
Fair.
Never thought, like, prior to that whole celibacy journey discovering that version of myself. Okay. There is no...
Especially if they're good looking.
Exactly.
Especially.
Like, I am always putting myself in rooms that... type. These are my type, or I'm fascinated by this guy.
So what's your type? What's your type? Real quick.
My type.
R&B.
I'm not lying. R&B, old soul type vibe.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I like.
So you like toxic? No, just. That explains, bro. No, just kidding.
I like a woman who.
So you like light-skinned girls and shit? Yeah.
I've
been to I Love R&B, bro. This shit's all light-skinned girls. I think I saw one white girl who's the friend of the light-skinned girl, you know? Yeah. So
honestly, I'm not lying. My first girlfriend was literally probably the whitest girl. Yeah. She lived on the outskirts of Kingston.
Okay.
I'm talking about, she had a horse, everything like that, and that was my first.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I lost my virginity at college. Okay. And then as soon as I lost my virginity, boom boom, her and I start dating. Crazy. And we moved in together. Right?
Oh man.
And I'm not lying. I went to a predominantly like white high school. And it got even wider because I was in the athletics program, and I was doing cross country and track, and I did a bit of soccer. So growing up in that, I felt like that was more. I dated, or I was with a lot of white girls. But then when I came out of college and all that, and I started
Toronto and
stuff like that. I'm like, wow. Women are just like, I have this method. I'm like, if she's bad, she's bad. If you're pretty, you're pretty. I have this method. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't discriminate a girl who is...
Listen, I'm a man. Like,
you know what I mean? Simplicity is that. You look good. Yeah. You look good.
Yeah.
You don't gotta worry if you black or white. If you look good,
Okay.
And you're aligned with your soul as well. And that's why I said that old soul. Someone who's able to not only acknowledge that, like, hey, I have these features and I'm pretty, but there's the brains behind it. Because I know when I hang out with you, those looks I'm not even thinking about as much when I'm talking about long term. I'm talking about, am I going to work and coming home to a headache?
Yeah.
Am I able to have you in my space where my family's around? And a lot of these things needed to be checked off for me. Facts. So I found that I resonated most with women who were much more calm, much more. I don't want to say homebody because you can go out and have fun, but people that were also family oriented, that came from similar backgrounds in the sense of, what struggle is, and you have respect for people that are enduring in that sense. There's that, because I grew up in poverty. I came from I came from Tanzania to here. My mom being on welfare, all this stuff. So it put a lot of perspective into it. And also now growing up with a father figure. My father was back home all his life. You know what I mean? Literally, rest in peace to him. Last month, I went down for the funeral.
Shit.
Yeah,
really,
but I had that even when I went down to the funeral, I had so much love for him, but I don't find that. I feel like being growing up without a father made me see the world differently, and it made me, again, that awareness of just being so mindful of.
You wouldn't wish it another way at this point.
Because
it
made me, and I feel like it made my journey so much more clear, and it made me this individual that is so you can put me through anything, and I know that I can persevere because the other side exists based off of what I've already felt, and that is something that nothing in life can ever teach you. That's something you have to endure.
Bro. Amen to that, man. Mm-hmm. Amen to that, bro. That's crazy. I just need to process that. That's deep, bro. That's deep. Because did you get a chance to talk to him before?
Yeah, no. My father and I had a really good relationship. I sent money home to him. We'd communicate on the phone. Obviously, there was a bit of a language barrier because I left when I was 8, so I speak the language fluent. Yeah,
I left as well when I was 8.
I left.
Bro, that's fucked, man. Oh my god.
So
anyway, I'm listening.
Through that time, 8, I knew the native language well. But I went from 8, and then the next time we went back home to see him was my 16th birthday. I was in grade 10, going in grade 11, and then for my 16th birthday, I literally last month when I went down was for his funeral that happened, and that was literally. So I've seen him. I've had 3 visits.
Yeah. From
8 to 16 to 28. All right, but I've stayed in contact. I sent him money, and I understand that, like, a lot of people, we put a lot of anger towards these things, and I did as a child as well. But growing up, I grew up knowing that, like, situations happen for a reason. I don't think it was a lack of him not loving me enough for stuff. I think
it was his own consequences.
It was his own consequences as well that took on, and it made our relationship so much more loving because I was able to be at peace at knowing that he's doing what he's being a father for the first time, and this is his first time being.
He went through the same shit you're going through now, just in a different. I
have to give him grace. That's best I can say. Is giving him grace allowed me to love him truly for the time he did have on here.
That's crazy, bro. Wow, man. I can relate to you so much, man. You have no idea. Yeah, man, I'm sorry to hear that, of course. Nonetheless, close or not, bro, I'm sure it was obviously... When you hear the news, in that moment, even if it's just for, like, 5 minutes, it takes a toll, bro. So it's like... For me, luckily, man, I can't lie, I went, like... my parents got divorced in Venezuela. My mom brought us here, my sister and I, my older sister. She's older than me by 3 years. And we came... went back for 4 years. Mom came back again, got married a second time, didn't work out again, but she had another daughter, so my little sister now. And throughout all that time, bro, I think it was like maybe at some point in here, maybe 12, 14 years, I had heard of, like, from my dad, because he stayed in Venezuela the whole time. I had heard from him, like, happy birthdays here and there, But I decided last year, during the time that I spent just on my own, same as you, to go to where he was now, which is Fort Lauderdale. in the States.
Yeah.
I went for like 2 days to just like finally confront him and just talk to him straight up about everything that happened. Because the divorce was kind of messy, you know, like my mom was convinced he cheated. There's a whole other stuff going on. There's a bit of a mess in that sense, right? And so the point was that I didn't even have any answers. My mom would say one thing, and then I was like, for me, it just built resentment, unnecessary resentment, because I just kept hearing one side of the story. And of course, my mom was just going to be hurt, you know what I mean?
For so long.
And for so long, consistently. And I would try to fight her on it, right? I would try to like keep that energy away. But it was just so consistent that eventually you start believing it, man, you know? And I actually just recently talked to my mom about it, how she would actually project a lot of the anger that she had towards him on me, because I was now the man of the family. Yeah. So a lot of that anger kind of came out slowly, just like little moments, right? Which led to me, you know, wanting to find a job early, wanting to move out, whatever. And we've already talked about this. That's why I'm open to sharing it online as well, because my mom already knows. We've already talked about all of this, and we're an amazing, like, I love her, man, to death, you know? But yeah, man, I full on feel you. And, you know, for me, it was finally clarifying that, to let go of that energy of like, I had to just go talk to him, which of course, once I talked to him, man, like you said, that grace just kicks in of like, this is just some man who just, life just happened the same way that it's happening to me, the same way it's happened to every other person out there. He didn't know what he was doing at the time. He made the best choices he could have. A lot of them may be seen a bit, what are men called, narcissistic, you know, manipulative, whatever you want to call it. It's like, absolutely, and he definitely admitted to some wrongdoing, and not in the cheating sense, but in some other aspects. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's about, like you said, giving that grace of understanding that I'm like holding on to all this for nothing, man. It's like there's literally nothing to it. It's just a matter of understanding, changing the perspective, and just kind of understanding where they come from and what happened to them. Now their story, how did it go with their parents and their relationships and all that shit. But yeah, man, wow, that's crazy. What are we at right now? I just want to make sure. We're at 6:40, man. I got you for like 20 minutes technically, but let's do another 10. I wanted to ask you, what's on your mind? Like, what was something you thought maybe we're gonna discuss today and we haven't, or vice versa? What's something you want to ask me, based on, I guess, I don't know, anything on your mind?
Yeah. I would say, where do you find yourself when you think of, like, let's say the next 2 to 5 years, and what type of spaces and environments do you want to tap into?
Spaces and environments. That's a great question, man. Yeah, well, I don't know if you've seen, we just recently posted, Patricia and I, that we just bought a camper van.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, bro.
I was like, that's so sick.
Yeah, bro. So we have a whole plan. We're building, our YouTube channel is going to be showcasing the whole thing. We have a little series that's going to happen where we're going to go straight to Alberta, drive through Canada, and then, you know, assuming all goes well in the U.S. in the next few months, from there we're going to go south of the U.S. and travel all the U.S. as well. Like that whole coast, all the way to Florida, the other side.
That's beautiful.
It's going to be sick, man. But we're going to take it, you know, like 1 month at a time, because the election's coming up in the States and stuff. So I'm trying to be mindful of when I go into the States, you know. But for now, at least Alberta, BC is going to be beautiful. We're going to live in that camper van at least for like 3 months. So that's going to be sick, man. It's a pretty big jump. Not a lot of people, I think, would do that. And we definitely thought about it for quite a bit. So that's definitely an environment that I see myself, you know, not 2 to 3 years, because that was your question, but
no, it could be, honestly.
That's the thing. It's like, it's such an open-ended thing that I don't even know after that.
You never know where
what the hell is gonna happen, bro. We might end up in some like next city. Like, you know, I wanna carry the podcast with me. I wanna host people in different cities while I stop at Seattle. I'll find someone on Instagram.
That'd
or
be
something.
beautiful, especially while you're on that mobile, just going. That's crazy.
Yeah, man, the traveling podcaster, I'll call it. You know, or something.
Literally.
See you in a GIF.
Literally,
that's what I'll call it. You know? I'll create a shit, bro. That's it, bro. I'll have a whole brand ready for it. But yeah, man, and like it's sick, man. And bro, I can't lie to you, man. This was a great conversation. Like, it was exactly what I was hoping for, bro. Because after I heard all the stuff you've made so far too, I was like, I love it how you're so intellectual. You know, you're very deep and intentional with everything you say. When I'm speaking, I notice you catch your breath, because you would like to stay level-headed. You know, I see it all. It's good, man. It's good shit. I just recently picked up breath work. I picked up all these things. Like same as you, meditation. I saw you guys do a lot of yoga.
And
some sound frequency. What do they call it again? Sound bowls.
The sound bowls.
Stuff like that. I'm definitely I don't know when the next one is, man, but I'll definitely come by and do it.
I appreciate it. I'll
Hell
definitely
yeah, man, let's get it. I think I saw the schedule online. I want to check it out and buy a ticket. But yeah, man, I mean, I guess I didn't really give you an answer. I mean, 2 to 3 years, bro, I'm hoping, to be honest with you, in terms of environment and spaces, meet more people like you, bro. I know I'm not gonna be in Toronto, but like, nah, man, for real, like, I hope we do stay in touch.
Definitely.
That to me, it's not a space, but it's an environment. And I know you touched on that. Actually, it's funny. Actually, my book, I have like 5 more questions, but I didn't think we were gonna have time. But one of the questions that I had was like, you touched on environment in the YouTube video you made. Obviously, that was one of the main topics. But what you said, I'm trying to remember how you said it, but it was something about how, like, physically, not just like a lot of people. I think your friend talked about how a lot of people can work when there's a lot of noise around them, but like not necessarily, like, it's not the same for everybody. You need a proper environment and space, but it's crucial how even you talked about how people are a big part of that as well.
Oh, I know exactly where you're. Okay, so
yeah, it's like
I had said that you're literally the people you surround yourself with, to be 3 or 4 closest people to you.
Right.
They are literally your nervous system is a representation of that, because that is what that is what your nervous system is constantly consuming. So if they're not bringing you peace and you're finding yourself stagnant in any way, you have to reflect directly within that circle.
Absolutely.
And our friends and our acquaintances that we reach out and we make plans. No. I'm talking about the people that you wake up with, the people that you see on a date, on a Monday to Friday. Yeah. And that's why the whole thing, relationships scare me, in the sense of,
you're just trying to be mindful.
I need to be mindful. Yeah. And I need to be also with someone who is helping me grow in that sense. Right. Helping me calm down when I feel overstimulated. Things that our generation may overlook and pass over and be like, oh, I would rather a hot girl over this, but when it truly comes down to it, it's just, what I'm hearing from you is that you've lacked that experience and you're so overstimulated that you've not yet just even discovered why you feel triggered in these situations. You just get angry and you get angry because of the lack of not understanding why you're being triggered. So my thing is, I need to know someone is aware of my nervous system. They know my triggers. They know that, okay, this is a moment where maybe we should be more peaceful. That awareness,
yes, it's so crucial, man.
It's super crucial.
And a lot of people, I think, just have a lot of entitlement, and they just, because of that, they just never even are able to process why being aware actually works in their favor.
Exactly.
Because it's a two-way street. If, like, doesn't everybody want to protect the people that they're around, in terms of, like, make sure they have the right people around them? And it's like, that's what they say, like, 2 negatives don't make a positive. Not in this case, at least, right? Because it's like, misery loves company in that sense. And like you said, if you don't take the time to understand the person, their triggers, how the awareness of, like, there's a time and place for things, and all that. And yeah, man, no, that's so crazy. And that's exactly why I was saying, bro, it's like, for the next 2 to 3 years, I think I'm just more crucial on the people I have, less about the place. Because if you have the right people in your life, bro, you can make a life and a fantasy of your own world, like, anywhere you are. They say you are.
What does it say? They say that home is where the heart is.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's just a beautiful environment to be in. And when I think of success and what that brings to me is community, and that's why with the Lucid, community is the number one priority. I don't mind if 20 people come to the event versus if it's 5 people come to the event versus 20. We are curating quality. We are here to take care of what is in front of us. The people that have been here, that's who we're trying to take care of. And I'm not looking at it from a business perspective. Right. I'm looking at it from the community. What is best for the community? As goes back to that whole light worker experience of saying, knowing that we're all connected and we're all one. Absolutely. And our struggle, and I think I even said this in one of our recent episodes, that I was saying that the illusion is thinking that we are separate from the oneness. Right. Right. That's where your issues, and
Absolutely.
That's where our problems.
That's where 99% of society is.
And you know who knows the elites? Yeah. Capitalize off of that.
Absolutely.
They capitalize.
Yeah. Bro, it's actually so crazy when you start seeing it. It's actually so fucked, man. It's actually so fun. And I can't lie to you, I think that's probably why I'm actually ready to leave Toronto, in a sense. I don't know where you're at, man, but like, for me, it came 20 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same way, same as you. Like, it's not what it used to be, man. Not what it used to be at all. I grew up in Toronto my whole life, and I've definitely slowly seen the decline. Nothing specific, just a lot of different things. I just think the system around the nation wasn't established properly from the beginning. And I think a lot of it is mimicking a lot of other countries and how they do things, not realizing how they do things, and not realizing that Canada has its own problems and its own things that need to be solved. So that's just my opinion on that, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, that's so crazy, so crazy to hear. And I think I heard it. I don't know where I heard it, but I think it was like one of the shows I was watching where the bad guys only need to get lucky, like they need to get lucky every time. The good guys only need to get lucky once. Yeah. I think I was like watching Narcos, and like everything you were saying just now just clicked in that sense. Is like, yeah, man, with the 5 people closest to you, of course one should be so mindful that you could go months without having anybody around you, because you only need to get it right once in each role that you find, in each person. Because once you find that one friend, man, especially once you've gone through this transition of like knowing thyself, and you actually know your values, what you actually give a shit about for real, right? And the kind of conversations you want to have, something on a day-to-day basis. Can I be around you and the energy feels in frequency, and like we don't feel like there's no unnecessary tension, drama, that kind of stuff, right? The little things that matter, that a lot of people just want to tolerate instead, which is so unhealthy. It's that, man, you just got to get it right, just like one time, because then you start with one friend, and then at that point, eventually, energy just gets louder, you attract other people, you grow a community, and that's just how it goes, man. And that's so beautiful. I love everything you guys are building. If I can be a part of it and help in any sense, man, I would love to be. I would love to be there. You guys let me know.
No, even Almira, when I was speaking to her, she's like, she loved that I was obviously coming here, obviously representing on behalf of Elucid, and even when this does come up, she was also saying, oh my god, I would love to also share some of what you guys spoke on Elucid as well. So it's like, it's already given the collab of that.
Yeah,
and it's
I'm all down with it,
so,
bro. I'm definitely there. I'm here at least until like mid-October minimum.
Yeah.
So at least like another month, give or take.
Yeah.
It may get extended a couple of weeks, but I mean, it's not a lot of time, obviously. But hey, man, whatever you guys are trying to do, let me know. I'm super down. I'll also think of some ideas, because I already see. I used to be creative director, so I already see also like what we could do, and like
like spaces we can tap into. I'm all for it.
Sick, man. And we should do another conversation. Patricia can be in it, and like sorry, your friend's name is what? Larissa? That's right, the one with the Lucid.
Almira.
Almira, I'm so sorry. Almira, gotcha. Yes,
Yeah.
She should also be part of the podcast.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We should do like another episode.
I'm telling you, that would be.
That's crazy, bro. Yeah. For sure. Oh man, thank you for being here, man.
I appreciate it.
This is a crazy conversation.
So it's very raw and vulnerable, and it's here.
Yeah, man. No, man, for sure. I'm super excited to see what you guys create moving forward. You guys got some more stuff coming out?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
we got it. Yeah.
So where can the people find you, man? Where can they check you guys out?
So we have our page on Instagram. It's Elucid Society. And we also have our YouTube as well. It's all in the link. And
yes, I'm going to put it in the description as well. Absolutely.
Yeah, and we have a lot more events coming up. We have a yoga event coming up in 2 weeks as well. And yeah, we have many events coming up. And we're in adaptive space as well. So we're not limited to just, one place.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You guys looking to do some stuff around like different areas too?
Different areas, we are brainstorming, and nothing is off limits, because we're trying to bring that awareness that you don't have to be put in one box and thinking in that sense,
Amen to that. Jeez. Thank you for coming here.